Hello. A wonderful morning goes out to all our viewers from around the world. Good morning. We are back again on another edition of QTV this morning. So wherever you are watching this program, thank you very much. We are broadcasting from the Gambia, West Africa, the Smiling Coast. Our country is known to be the Smiling Coast, where, coconut leaves dance to the rhythm of the wind. So we are back.
That was very poetic.
And I'm with Mam Nabuka. Yes, Mam Nabu, good morning. You're wearing something very nice. I love it. I love the touch.
Yeah,
it looks kind of Indian.
Really? Thank you so much.
That's nice.
What was that? That was very poetic.
That was really poetic. I mean, I used to do this program called The Smiling Coast on QTV, where I'll go discover Destination Gambia. So I put those things together so that I can bombasting that on TV. Whenever I am on TV, I'll be saying those things.
That was very good.
Yeah, so thank you. Seth Mati Jau is our newspaper review guest. Good morning, Seth Mati.
Morning, Mr. Balde.
How have you been?
I've been great. Alhamdulillah.
Nice. So naka dika bi nak very bari na de
Dika
ciow bi bari na de
ñu ngi ko gisee rek ñu ngi ko gisee door rek
laay léeg-léeg laa seen dika bi bari na ciow
waaye boo miin ne tamit jaama la nag coow a gën xay foog naa moo gën so at least yeah sant yàlla
dëgg la yeah so sant yàlla I mean we'll take a look at the African code and the newspaper review with Seth Mati Jau. From there we'll be talking to the team from SOS. They'll be here and we'll be looking at the cybersecurity workshop for NGOs. And NAWEC update on electricity supply. Buba, communications officer, would be here. Ma'am Nabu, take us through the African code.
So we have a very interesting African proverb today, and it goes, however long a log stays in water, it never becomes a crocodile. Yeah. This reminds me of the proverb we were discussing on Monday. The forest is strong because every tree stands in its place.
In its place.
So I think it's just talking about having a sense of self, because fundamentally knowing who you are kind of helps you know which environment you can thrive in. Because a log is wood.
Absolutely.
Staying in water for too long is just going to chip away at it. And at some point you will be exposed to destruction because you will be very weak. And it's not an environment basically it can thrive in. Because, so I just think
and that makes sense.
Being self-aware.
That's really sensible. Set Mati Jau. Bantalum yaga si géej du musa don jisit.
I think this is one of the most popular, I mean, if not, proverbs that people hear, usually growing up and all of those things.
Yeah.
But like Mama Nabu was saying, it's more about being self-aware, self-preserve as well. Yeah. It's also very similar to the other one, like Kuwache under being them fake
wow.
Yeah, so it's about you knowing where you are, being aware of your environment, like she mentioned, but still being true to yourself.
Yes.
At the end of the day, I mean, you'll never be, digest it. So it's still better you be a log and be a proud log.
That's very important. Be a proud log.
Be a proud one,
Exactly. I think it's right. I mean, it's about, it's talking about identity, where you belong, you know. It's easier when you identify where you're from, and you fit in, because that is the only thing that will really work for you at the end of the time, So I think the proverb, it's really a very straightforward proverb. Will allow our viewers to send in their interpretation. If you have anything on this proverb, you can send on our social media handle. Ma'am Nabu.
Yes.
Why sometimes there are people that try to fit in positions.
Because this is very important. There's a lot of situations where a lot of people do try to force themselves into places where maybe they don't fundamentally belong in, but there's societal expectations that could force them to be in situations like that. So I think maybe from growing up to being to where you are, having people or being in an environment where people encourage you to be yourself and know who you are as a person also counts a lot, because if not, you grow up to be that type of person that's always trying to find fulfillment. True. Anywhere, just to fit in. So sometimes it could be a difficult experience.
And finding fulfillment anywhere could be very dangerous.
Dangerous, yeah.
But this is also talking about like a traveler. you know, going to a new place.
Yeah, that's also right.
You know, how are you living within that community? Are you going to copy everything?
Yes.
You know, take everything. And so it is saying, be careful.
Yeah.
You know, if you take everything, you'll never turn into
something.
that person.
Yeah.
So always go with your foundation. You know, the most basic issues, but also remember where you're coming from. And I think that's the issue. What you know is basically saying. Yeah.
As an individual, you shouldn't be irregular in shape. You shouldn't be an amoeba. You have to be one thing.
I think it's like the saying is flexible because like Sid Matthew was saying, you could allow yourself to experience different things, but always know that you know there's somewhere where you belong that you can return to.
Let's say as a society. Many people are copying the Western way of living. To an extent, buy nañ yuñ doon def yépp almost buy nañ yépp suñ maam yi lu ñu doon won buy nañ ko. So man, sometimes I'll say, I think this is the cause of our problem because we want to forget where we're coming from. Ba pare ñuy jël keneen. Wàcce nañ suñ ànda ba pare ñu ngi jël keneen.
I mean, I'm not a philosopher. This is what they call like is Ali Masri called it triple heritage, if I'm not mistaken. You know, in Africa we have like the West, the Arabs, ak ñun. All these different three cultures mingling.
Yeah.
You know, at some point, you know, as an individual, if you don't have a foundation, I mean, foundation is, where does it start from? Family.
From home.
You know, family, we build that, you know where you're coming from. And at the end of the day, this also helps and guides you. But of course, the way also in society, we say education, for instance. If you go to school, you're good, and that is it. But if you don't go, you know, you are outside. So that's the way you separate culture. That's where you lose culture as well. But you can go to school, you can do everything that you have to do, you can be part of the modern, but value your foundation, your culture, your society. Those are things that are also important. It's not like pick this one or pick the other one.
Could you also look at the pipeline of colonialism, imperialism, evolution along the way as well? I think that has also fundamentally changed things in a lot of people and you know, the way they look at their culture. Because a lot of us, we don't really know historically what our culture is. So I think that also counts a lot.
And the interest, because sometimes it's also easy to say, okay, colonialism. Yes, it changes it in terms of the education, but it also gives you a tool to do further exploration. Where you're coming from, what's your history, what's your family lineage, what are those things, what are the values. So those are some of the tools that we can also use still to explore our own experience and our realities.
Absolutely. I think most of the time we are not more interested in research. I mean, you know, and it becomes a problem. You know, for this generation.
And at the family level, so that you know.
Wow, that's true.
Yeah. These are important.
I think us also, like the young people, taking up the initiative, go to family members that are older than you and ask them about your, you know, the history, culture. That also could help.
A guest to that. A guest to for juge. At least buneke na neko tipsa. Why warnga muna guest to tuti for juge. Tay set mati. Man so mane kujur suma papa. Koku hamna ko. Kujur papam. Why after papam?
It's for many of us.
I cannot tell you.
And
those people, they were there.
Yeah.
Hamga. Suma nyenenti mam yoyu nonu. Nyung pa why man nyu how malen. I don't even know them.
Man recently I've been very interested in this. You know, even looking at that what generation. You know,
family tree.
Family trees. Those are important.
It's very important.
Even if not, it's for this kind of proverbs. It's like so that you remember where you're coming from. And also you know that. In this world, you are all a traveler. You travel, and then you have to travel in terms of, you know, where you're coming from.
Absolutely. Yeah, so viewers, tell us what your interpretation of the proverb is. I mean, we'll take a short break to acknowledge our sponsors. Then after that, we'll delve into the newspapers. We'll be back.
Join the biggest network with the cheapest tariff in the Gambia and enjoy crystal clear calls and super fast internet at the cheapest tariff, only with QCell. Rush now and grab your free QCell SIM card today from any of our care centers near you. QCell, the biggest network with the cheapest tariff. QCell Senior Boss. We innovate, others follow. In December 2026, Gambians head to the polls to choose a president. And history may hang in the balance. As the day draws near, every week, right up to Decision Day, QTV will lead the political conversation. And nobody breaks it down like QTV. Our team of experts will help you understand the results as QTV brings you Decision 2026, a weekly program dissecting the issues, driving the debate, and giving Gambians a front row seat to the hottest topics for the defining election of our time. Hear differing views put forward and challenged, manifestos dissected and explained. Stay informed, stay engaged. Stay tuned to QTV for everything you need to know about this year's election. Decision 2026, Thursdays at 9 p.m. Only on QTV.
Q Money is changing the game with mobile money payment. Now, you can pay your QCell mobile broadband plan faster, easier, and way more convenient with your Q Money wallet. Just open the Q Money app or dial *323#. Select option.
Welcome back after the break. This is QTV This Morning. I am Ibrahim Abalde. Now let's head to some of the papers. And Minister Dr. Demba Sabali, transforming agriculture with strong commitment to farmers' needs. I mean, recently we've seen the minister coming out and talking to the farmers. And we've also seen the president when he traveled up country to meet the farmers. I mean, that conversation they had on agriculture. It's important for us to reflect. I mean, which area is our agriculture heading to? You understand? When you talk to experts, they'll tell you, okay, the Gambia is farming, but they are not meeting the standard as far as the international market is concerned. We've invited the food safety, I think on Monday, they were here. They talked about aflatoxin. So all those things are really affecting our farming in the Gambia. So what exactly do you think it's the problem, Said Mati?
No, I mean, I'm not an agriculturist. I mean, I did some farming in the past, but only now I do most of the chewing and all of that stuff. I mean, but naturally, if you engage, and one time I was discussing this in terms of the policies more broadly, in terms of where our agriculture is. I mean, I think for me, the intention, our agriculture must have an intention. And what should be that intention is food security. And food security in the sense that we want to feed ourselves as a nation, not just to look at it, oh, these are small-scale farmers and all that. It must have an intention, and that intention must be to feed everybody. And so when that happens, then what do people use? Is rice. I mean, you talk about, today we're talking about aflatoxin and granules. It is affecting that. I mean, and granule is what is used for cash crop, to buy rice, to do all of that stuff. Wouldn't you change the strategy now, focus on what people consume, what they use that money to do that? And that's why you invest in rice and all of those kind of modern technology to look at that. But I think also where our gap has largely been is on doing research when it comes to agriculture. Yes, last time I was together, before this NARIF fund was established, together with NARI, the National Agricultural Research Institute. For me, if we want to be really serious and committed to agriculture, that is one institution that we must really, really strengthen, provide them with enough resources, because they're supposed to do the basic, do the research, do everything else for us to understand this, because that was the purpose why it was established. But you cannot just come and implement project here and expect them to generate certain things. There is no institutional follow-up, no line-up. Projects will come. Agriculture has a lot of projects. But at the end of the day, people will talk about food insecurity. They are going hungry. So how do you intentionally address food insecurity? But by ensuring that you feed the nation. That's the focus.
That's one
For me, anything else, you know.
One thing I understand, Ma'am Nabu, you know, agriculture is one of the most important you know, in human life. You can do technology, you can do a lot of things, but agriculture, you need food at the end of the time. So trying to enhance our agricultural practices, I think it's also very significant.
I say that all the time. Agriculture, education, two of the most important sectors you can have in any country. And I think for a while we have been talking about self-sustainability. You did mention it, feeding ourselves, which is a priority. Also, I'm thinking of the African Continental Free Trade Area, which will be allowing us to do trade in with other countries in the African region. So, like, you know, we have all of these pathways that we can use. And for our farmers, I think awareness raising is also very important. We have most of them have been farming for years, you know, and you were talking recently, just now, about how we have all of these new technologies coming up. So how strong is that awareness about these new technologies, and how can they access it? Because having capital to get those technologies as well is a problem.
Yeah. I mean, you see, I mean, if you read Jawara previously, they tell you that farmers are rational people.
Yeah.
I mean, they are investment. They are like business people. They're investing. They want to make something out of that. But all likely, it has been seen more from the subsistence level, that mostly growing for the family. But growing for the family now is not enough. So people need cash, need all of those things. So they need to think about that.
Yeah.
And recently you're seeing, like, especially younger farmers, they are adopting these technologies. They are looking into it because they want to grow in large scale. Some of them have large lands. And so now they are using tractors, they are using all of these things. And that's why now you're seeing that the demand for these tools are becoming higher on the side of government, where people are saying, we want tractors, we want this, we want that. So in that way, you see that the interest is there. But then we need to rethink what should be the intention or the value. At the end of the day, what do we want our agriculture to do for us?
Right.
Is it just to feed the family, or is it just to feed the nation? And even the free trade area that you're talking about is possibility. But I'll give you one example. And this is why I always argue that this country is not poor. It's either people are lazy or we're not thinking straight. One is half of our river, almost half of it, is fresh water.
It's fresh water.
So it means you see, even if you go to this Jahali, all of that, they're harvesting. They're doing it 3 months and all of those things. They're harvesting continuously. So there is enough evidence to show that there's a possibility that we can feed ourselves.
Yeah.
It's either how are we invested, or what are we doing, or what we are not doing right. So those are issues that we need to bring on the table.
Do you
as well.
think that also we need to bring in more people into the agricultural sector, as in more people who want to engage in farming?
Of course. I mean, for me, it's not only the people, but even I will argue that we, even for now, for the issue of food security, we need to bring in the military. We need to support them in that aspect. I mean, I will argue about that, because for me, those are the most important elements. Because if you challenge security, the world is not, is becoming more problematic. We saw what happened in Iran. Everybody feel it here. And mostly what does it affect? Your feeding, your livelihood. So if you're not able to feed yourself.
So I think we are relying more on things that come from outside.
Importation,
yes, to the Gambia.
Yes.
So any slight problem from outside will definitely.
So it's affecting us.
We saw the electricity problem.
So, I mean, the IEC extends deadline for voter registration appeals. I mean, still on the Observer 24 before we move to the Point newspaper. Yeah, so we've seen a lot of, talking, people talked about, registration malpractice of, so the IEC now, it's giving a deadline for there to be an appeals. When they get to that stage, there will be no appeals again.
I think that's why they released the provisional list of voters, so people could look at these things and be aware of what's going on. I don't know how active that's people are engaging with it, because I think that's very important. That they go and look at this list.
No, I think the IEC is just basically following the Electoral Act, because the Electoral Act set the stage for how our elections are to be basically conducted, and I think based on their own timeline. After registration, usually there's that appeal and all of those things process where we have the revising court. So this is a period where they've likely publish the list of people that they have registered, so that people can go and confirm their details, confirm all of those issues. And for instance, if you feel like somebody should not be registered, that's the time that you go and appeal from the IEC. Then you go to the revising court, so that they can look at those issues. But I think the extension is also because the IEC provided this and all of those things to political parties and all of that. And for me, this is why I said the work has been done. And recently I saw UDP organizing a press statement talking about how they're contributing to ensuring that we have a credible list going ahead of the election. I mean, this is the expectation. This is why IEC is also sharing some of these issues, so that people can ensure that we have a credible list going to the election, because at the end of the day, everybody accepts that this is very important pillar in the election.
So, Seth Mati, we talked about election. Now let's, talk about the coalition that they are trying to form, and they've also announced date when they're going to mention the one lead, who's going to lead the coalition. So among all these people, I'm not going to say who do you think can lead, because they are all.
I'm not going to answer that, even if you answer, because I don't know.
They are all confident, I know. But are you seeing a united coalition already? Because the way things are going, The UDP, I mean, said if you're joining, you have to join the UDP because we are the biggest.
I mean, I think since the 2000s, early 2000s, when this idea of coalition formation has been ongoing. I mean, I take you as far back then, when before the NAD and all of those conversations, there has been always two conversations in terms of what should a coalition form be like. There is on one side, there's those that proponent that believe in party-led coalition, that the strongest party, or that should rally behind those strongest party, and then they form a coalition. There are those that believe that coalition should be formed along party candidates in terms of bringing candidates and all of those issues so that they can lead individually. And they can do that through primaries and contests and all of those different issues. So this is the conversation that is still existing today.
Yeah, and I think the conversation keeps happening time and time again because it's not sustainable. Like, it usually just, even if it is successful, it does fall apart at some point. So I think people want to know what needs to happen for it to be sustainable long term.
Yeah, because the structure of our electoral process is also at play here. Because, you know, we don't have like a second round of voting, for instance, that people can, you know, do those things. Or other ways of where it makes coalition formation very easy. For instance, if we were like in like a Westminster system, which we had after independence, where people, even the president has to contest through a constituency, get elected, go to parliament, you know. In that process, you know, you can talk about coalition building where the discussion would be at the parliament. But we have a presidential system. And forming coalition at the presidential level, it has to be a gentleman's agreement in most cases, unless you, I mean, we create the structure. But if we want the presidential system, I mean, political actors should be thinking ways of fixing this issue. It's not for us to be doing the negotiation and talking for them. That's their job. They want to lead, so they have to figure it out in that way as well.
Yeah, so I mean, the landmark victory. Gambia wins $33.2 million, I mean, international legal battle.
That's a congratulations to the government.
It's
That's
a huge win. That's
yes.
almost $2 billion.
Yeah, imagine that being removed from our budget. You know, people are complaining about a lot of issues and all of that. And I think that was a good fight. And congratulations to the government. And this is what is also expected. Yes. I mean, always fight your battles. Whether you win, lose, you know, it's also important that we put a defense to things that we strongly believe in as a country. And I think these processes are very important, and we should be proud of it.
So, I mean, the Gambia must reclaim its borders. I mean, Honorable Jiwa.
There's the Bullock border issue?
That issue, exactly.
I mean, I've been reading a lot on this issue. I mean, and I'm taking my time to understand. But of course, we should not be just seen as a blog or a fence. But I think historically it's a border crisis. Yesterday I read Halifa talking about 61 years that has not been resolved by governments. So block is just a symptom of an unresolved issue that both countries should be. Currently, what happened for me, I think both countries should be ashamed of it. And they've been talking about Senegambian Confederation, Senegambian unity as the example of African integration. But of course, and they've established procedures and institutions that are supposed to show this as an example. Is this a failure of this institution? Is what is happening? For me, that's the broader question that I want to ask. But it's not about who should claim what. There's a historically contested area, and these are things that we need to sit down together as two countries to settle. But I think based on these institutions that exist and currently what happened, I feel we need to get involved in the UN or ECOWAS.
And I think I saw a report around the same issue that's saying farmers are fleeing the area, which it's getting, I think, very serious because when diplomatic resolutions are taking too much time, things like this do happen. And my question is, why is it taking so long for both countries to come together and settle this so it doesn't keep repeating time and time and time again?
I mean, they've been meeting. It shows like there've been a lot of foot dragging from both sides, most likely, because of course in 2013 I think there was a boundaries commission that was established, but I think they disagree in terms of the method. Okay. So I don't know also whether perhaps there are gaps in terms of capacity from both sides to be able to identify where the borders are. But I think, I mean, reading Halifa's question, what he did was basically to help put the issue into three contexts.
Yeah.
One, that there is we shouldn't just look at it from a border line that has been drawn by the colonialists, but he's saying that we should go back to the 1918, the Berlin Conference line that was drawn. But also today, more presently, we need to look at the border from three or more broader perspective. That is in terms of state-to-state relationship, people-to-people, you know, and community. You're looking at it from that point. Because like you were saying, some people live in Gambia, but they own farmland historically. Before even Senegal became independent, Gambia became independent, their families have been farming on that side. They've been moving, they've been crisscrossing. And in some communities, you cannot even recognize what is Gambia, what is Senegal. So you need to bring in the people as well as part of the conversation, not just the state appearing and then people.
Yeah, it's not just a black and white situation.
No, it's not that.
So I wonder sometimes with all these agreements, MOUs, you know, Gambia and Senegal visiting each other, you know, this thing happened, I mean, the other time. I was like, okay, I mean, what happened to all these agreements? You ask those questions.
Well, it means there are gaps in terms of how some are implemented, but also for me it's been surprising because, of course, with Macky Sall, there's been that conversation, especially among the Gambian intelligentsia. In 2019, we wrote something like GAM exit in relation to Brexit in terms of how people were looking at the Senegalese-Gambia relations vis-a-vis Macky versus President Barrow. But for me, the current situation basically is showing, I mean, after Jomai came in, we saw some sort of changes, even joint security, joint patrols, joint all of those things, joint military agreement, things that were being implemented. And over suddenly we saw this. It seems like two people that have been jointly patrolling their borders and now, you know, at loggerheads. So the issue for me is also political. And that's why Halifa said that you only hear the border issue or the border becomes visible to the communities, to the people, when the states are present.
Yes.
If the state is not there, people don't see the border. People don't know who is who. And those are issues that we need to factor in, especially when we're talking about African integration and Pan-Africanism moving forward.
Yeah, so let's move on. I mean, still we have one more story to deal with. Government gives over $6 million to the Olympic Committee for 2026 Commonwealth Games. I mean, I think it's a good one.
Oh, yes, always a good one. Always invest in your people. Always, whatever they want to do, wherever they want to go, always invest in your people. Because at the end of the day, it is both pride for the country, but also it's also about showcasing our own talents, and we shouldn't be scared to compete anywhere.
And I was going to say today, there's a lot of eyes that are on sports. So the more we invested in, the better. The more, you know.
I mean, if you talk about sports, if we are very intentional again with agriculture and intentional with sports, I mean, this whole youth and employment, all of these things that we are talking about would be addressed, you know, within a very short period. The talent is there, the space is there. How do we build the environment? For me, I think those are the kind of conversation that the Ministry of Youth and all of those things have to be having.
Exactly. So, Seth, Mati, thank you. Thank you very much for reviewing these stories with us. This is all we have for this segment. Yeah, so viewers will take a short break, and after the break, the program continues.
Q Money is changing the game with mobile money payments. Now, you can pay your QCell mobile broadband plan faster, easier, and way more convenient with your Q Money wallet. Just open the Q Money app or dial *323#. Select option 4 to buy or pay your broadband plan in seconds. No stress, no lines, no last-minute panic. Whether you're streaming your favorite shows, browsing the web, or working from home, stay connected without missing a beat. Stay connected the easy way with Q Money's QCell mobile broadband payments anytime, anywhere. For more information, call customer care on 133. Q Money, Senior Carpet. Terms and conditions apply.
In today's world, speed matters, but slow internet can hold you back. Now, the future of connectivity has arrived in the Gambia. QCell's Q-Fiber, ultra-fast, ultra-reliable internet designed for the way you live. Stream your favorite shows without buffering. Power your business with seamless video calls. Study, work, and play online like never before. From homes to businesses, QCell Fiber is connecting the Gambia to the future. QCell's Q-Fiber. Get connected today. Call 145 or 300-3779. QCell. We innovate, others follow.
QCell, the fastest growing network in the Gambia, now presents to you the eSIM. QCell's eSIM allows you to electronically scan a code and join the world of digital SIM cards. Customers with physical SIMs can easily switch to the eSIM as well. So rush now and get connected with an eSIM and start using the latest mobile technology with your trusted GSM operator. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sunubus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome to the QCell 5G Gaming Hub, powered by ultra-fast 5G connectivity from QCell, the fastest network in the Gambia. No lag, no limits, just pure performance. Multiple PlayStations, Xbox racing with full car wheel control, and immersive virtual reality experiences that put you inside the action. Play the biggest titles: FIFA, Call of Duty, NBA 2K, Street Fighter 6, Forza, and many more. Experience gaming like never before. The QCell 5G Gaming Center is open weekdays from 12 p.m. and weekends from 11 a.m. Closed Tuesdays. For bookings and inquiries, call 381-0008. The QCell 5G Gaming Hub, not just gaming. This is the ultimate gaming experience.
Gambia, are you ready for something big?
From your trusted GSM operator, QCell, your favorite app just got a major upgrade.
From your phone to the world, buy credit, buy Sunu bundle packages, loan credit with eFankanta, and buy Q Power all in one place.
And here's the real upgrade. Q Money is now fully integrated in the app. Send money, pay bills, save money so faster and easier than ever.
And for our entertainment lovers, stream QTV, Q Radio Live anytime, anywhere.
But that's not all. This upgrade also brings enhanced security features, smoother performance, and a brand new interface designed to save your time.
This is more than an app.
This is freedom at your fingertips.
Download the new QCell app today and unlock your digital life.
For more information, call our customer care on 111.
QCell, Sunubus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Bokal si network bu gëna rëy gëna yombale si réewi Gambia bi fii jëfandikool kool bu set internet bu gaaw li yëpp si njëg bu yomba fii si QCell dawal léegi si suñ customer care bu la gëna jege ñu may la QCell line te doo si fay dara QCell network bu gëna rëy te it gëna yombale si réew mi fii QCell suñu bas ñoo xaali yoon bi ñeneen toppa
naine dake network koto mi yalonko wole warta nyimbanko kan adung adabe soniaring wole nyama imuna fang telefono la mi yalonko abe seniaring adung internet wobe tariaring nyindum QCell dorna sinyin nati aleno ibori yela QCell line ota customer care mi sutia tema bi QCell network ko mi warta network ko beti adung adabe soniaring QCell sunu boss ntolla silo walang dulia bulan noma
Mitoma. First time cross, really threatening, and it's dropped for Minte, rifled in! Out.
Did you know you can buy cash power?
Welcome back. This is QTV This Morning. I am Ibrahim Abalde and I'm with Mam Nabuka. Mam Nabu,
Yes.
we'll head to the next segment of this program.
Which is very interesting segment.
Yes. So, I mean, we have the team from SOS, and there was a recent training on cybersecurity workshop for NGOs. And Aliu Bojang, Mr. Aliu Bojang, Program Development Manager, SOS, and of course, Jen Lamin Marina, SOS ICT Manager, and Aaron Gambia representative. Welcome, gentlemen, to this program.
Thank you.
Yes. So first, I mean, we'd like to understand what is the objective of this training? Yes.
So around this combination of West, Central, and North African NGOs,
Okay.
formerly called WACNA, but now it's been shifted at an international level. So it's contains 10 countries, and Gambia being the 11th, mainly Francophone, of course. But Gambia joined as an only Anglophone country. Why? Because of the need for cyber protection of NGOs in the landscape. NGOs work with a lot of child data. We work with a lot of donor data, and we have a lot of lot of beneficiaries that end up being very, very digitally involved. So that would be a reason why we are spreading cybersecurity awareness around NGOs.
Which is very interesting, because I was reading on them. It was very inspiring to see that Gambia was the first English-speaking country to be a part of this. And I did see you guys reveal data that 43% of NGOs are affected by cybersecurity attacks, 70% of which don't have basic response systems. So how important is this training to them, and how do you see this impacting Gambia's cybersecurity sector long term?
So SOS as an NGO is probably okay. The UN agencies are okay as well.
Okay.
What we do is we share data. We share data with other NGOs, other local NGOs in the landscape that are not well prepared.
Okay.
So thereby we create a risk. If we share data with local NGOs in URL, CRL, or even in the West Coast that are not cyber resilient, we end up compromising ourselves. But then again, I would let Mr. Bojang come in on more on how, so you guys would understand how, our beneficiaries work.
Okay, Mr. Bojang. Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much again, once again, for welcoming us. Just maybe a little bit background as to how we come to this level.
Yes.
As you know, SOS Students Village is international. It's a global NGO that is specializing in ensuring that children grow up to have the needed care they need, to be protected, and for them to have the support they need to thrive. And we do this in various ways or methods, where we have programs related to alternative care coordination. We provide children who have lost parental care or at the risk of losing parental care. We give them a form of a family life care in our villages there. But we've moved beyond that alternative care, because from recent assessment and evaluation that we've conducted, we did realize that the best place for any child to actually be is with a family.
Yes.
It could be your own family of origin, it could be with a relative, or it could be at a broader community level. And in that sense, now we have expanded our programming towards going to communities, strengthening families of origin in terms of their socioeconomic conditions and so on and so forth. In that regard, now we are providing that alternative care. We are having family strengthening projects and programs. We also involve in educational provisions, as you know, from kindergarten to SOS high school and so on and so forth. We are also into youth empowerment programs, because we believe that most of the reason why certain people in fact abandon their children is not necessarily the fact that they are orphan children. We have in our care children whose parents are actually even alive, but then they do not have the financial muscles to actually bring them or take care of them, and as a result, they've been referred for us to actually provide a care for those children. So we believe if the next generation of children have the necessary knowledge and awareness of child protection and why it matters, and also having the needed economic resilience that they need to become productive, they will not be in a situation to abandon their child. And that is the goal of SOS, to avoid child-family separation at all costs. And in this regard, we deal with a lot of vulnerable children, and you collect a lot of sensitive information that is vital to both the children, to the child, and also as that of the parents. And then you have to make sure that you protect this data when it comes as much as possible. It doesn't fall into the wrong hands. It doesn't have unauthorized access to it. People could use that data to even blackmail the participant that we serve in. They can use data for identity theft and so on and so forth. So we make sure that at the core of whatever we do, we protect the data that we have, both that of our participants in our care and also that of the donors that actually support us. Because identity theft, cybersecurity nowadays is becoming a very important issue, where we have certain institutions, as you know, that are faced with blackmailing or hacked, and in that regard, they ask a lot of ransom for that one. They can also steal data of your donors that can be used against those donors in order that aspect of other things. And even a child participant can have some medical conditions or personal data that could be used for somebody to impersonate you, to commit some online fraud and so on and so forth. So we see this as an initiative that makes sure, in as much as SOS, we have very strong, as you mentioned, initiatives when it comes to protection of data, data collection, the way we collect data, the way we store data, and then the way we handle data. But then so that other individuals also equally need this. And if you are working with them, you need to make sure that entire spectrum of the people that are actually involved in this have similar strong policies and initiatives when they come to protecting this personal data.
So what is the biggest cyber security threats in the Gambia facing NGOs?
In the Gambia here at the moment, maybe you... Yeah.
Fishing. PHIS and ING is not FIS.
Okay.
Basically, we get emails all the time. Actually, the day we had this workshop going on, I'm standing and we get an email that basically asks for donation to NGOs and asks for an account number.
Okay.
You know, I mean, you have to be more cyber aware to know that somebody's not just going to give you money, just hello and just hand you over money. So we put a stop to those things. These emails these would normally come in as very urgent. Okay. I mean, you would be compromised because you're vulnerable at that point. Maybe you need more funding, and boom, it comes in. You respond, you give them your account information, thereby compromising your financial system. Other things too. We have these young, like Ali alluded to. We have very, very, very vulnerable kids. They're online. They could be blackmailed. They are on the social media platforms. They don't know who's on the other end. In most cases, and they haven't been trained as well. So we are doing what we can to make sure they are protected. Again, we are not trying to, it's not about computers anymore. It's about lives and assets and what goes around in there.
So 2 separate questions here. These children that are online, are they being engaged also in some type of way? And in your studies, like what challenges are some of these NGOs facing in trying to have basic response systems against these cyber attacks? Do they face any challenges that's stopping them from doing this?
Funding.
Right.
Yes. And for that of our children, yes, at least for that of SOS Children's Villages, we have annual board refresher trainings that we do for our children when it comes to the issues of protecting themselves, training them how best they could be on social media and the usage of passwords and so on, and not to be sharing personal information. But we equally have to make sure we protect. That is why we don't even allow photos of a child to be actually shared somewhere here and there. So we have all those safeguarding measures, both in terms of both online and offline, when it comes to the protection of your children. Because children can be harassed, they could be abused physically and even online. And online harassment and abuse is now becoming more and more common nowadays. So you need to make sure that the cyber system, in terms of both our internet system between our facilities and even our schools, is all embedded in one program that could be easily monitored by the ICT department. Certain websites could also be blocked, and it says that the mothers that actually take care of the children are all sensitized in the usage of some of these issues, that they can monitor the children in their houses to make sure that they are being productive in the online.
So, I mean, how prepared are we now, as you know, to tackle the issue of cybersecurity?
We are not. And that's the concern. We are not.
No, we are not.
We are not.
Then
no,
that's really dangerous.
It's very concerning.
Which is why we are going the direction we are going. We've engaged the ministry. We've had, on this occasion, we've had other NGOs, international and local, of course. We also had PURA, came and gave us presentation on the GSAT, which is the response system. What we are trying to do is bring up all or most NGOs to be working on the same landscape. Threat sharing. We have a compromise. We see a compromise. We share it amongst ourselves. So at least everybody knows that there's an email going around that says this and this and this. There's a Microsoft Defender compromise. We share it as well. So that's where we're heading with this, which is we're bringing particularly NGOs at this point. But also, again, we had private partners, other partners as well that helped us, including the government.
That's really interesting.
So you did mention funding as a challenge. So how can these local NGOs have these cybersecurity defense systems without the problem of funding?
Right. So again, back to Aronzi, is NetHope funded, partially funded by NetHope and SOS. So like I said, if we build a resiliency system, we build the Aronzi framework where we can actually share. We cannot provide antivirus or what everyone needs.
Okay.
So right after this workshop, we sent out a maturity assessment where we want to know where everybody sits.
Okay.
Do you have email? Are you using email? Do you have antivirus? You know, do you have multi-factor authentication? You know, just so we assess where everybody sits. When we know where everybody sits, then we know how they could be helped. Again, funding-wise, we might not be able to fund what they need, but we'll be at least able to enlighten them and help them as much as we can. Now, there's a lot of what we call mom and pop NGOs. They do a lot of work, but they are very localized.
Okay.
You know, there's maybe 1 or 2 computers. Their software is not even updated. Those are more who we're looking at working with, along with the other international NGOs.
Okay. So how many NGOs participated in this training? And it will be important for us to know what are the topics, the areas that were really highlighted during the training.
Okay. So we had participation from about 30. We'll have about 30 participants. 25 or 23 to 25 would be NGOs. Of course, we had PURA. We had Gambia Cyber Security Association, Gambia Cyber Alliance, and we also had Access to Information Commission.
Oh,
they did a presentation. They did a presentation on the data protection and what the current data laws is, the 2025 Act.
Okay.
Mr. Commissioner Njai went through it, and everybody was very aware, very, very overwhelmed with the amount of information he poured out. We also had a section on the digital maturity, where we are asking more, where do you sit today? If we understand where you sit, we know where we can, how we can help you. Also, a presentation from Gambia Cybersecurity Alliance. We had 2, and they went through a whole. They took most of the time, basically, and they went through with. It was very interesting, and a lot of back and forth from NGOs as well. We had Red Cross, we had Caritas, we had CRS, and other. I hate to start naming names, and I'll forget some. Yes, yeah, but Child Fund, it was a lot. Yeah, it was a lot.
Okay. So will you have more of these trainings going forward, and for NGOs that have not been able to be part of it as well, how can they be part of it?
Absolutely. Like I said, we are reaching out. We already sent a maturity assessment out, and we're always open. I think we've sent about 45 or 50. We even involved telcos as well, because the infrastructure lies basically on QCell, AfroCell, GAMCell, and those the platform. So we invited you guys because we wanted to know. We wanted you guys to be aware to see where we sit on these things. Okay. So your response to how they go forward is, there's aroncy.org. It's as simple as aroncy.org.
Right.
Anybody can go in.
Okay.
Even non-NGOs register, take cybersecurity training, do a maturity assessment, read about what's going on as far as cybersecurity.
So I want to drag you back a little bit, because you did say that you guys started with Francophone countries. So what have your achievements been so far in terms of those countries, and do you see more Anglophone countries joining Aronsi moving forward? Absolutely.
Achievements as far as it goes, all 10 countries, from Ivory Coast, Chad, Niger, Senegal, when we do an assessment now, we see them in the top tier.
Okay.
Gambia is like in the third, like a couple of levels down, very, very low on awareness. But they've all grown to the top tier, the top 10, the top 12, top 12 up there. So we're looking to get Gambia there to a certain extent, where our NGOs know how to address this.
Bojang, do you see impact taking a long time
yes.
to happen?
I mean, change is constant, as they always say, but it's also steady. It happens slowly. And as you mentioned, it first started with, just maybe to reflect on some of the questions that you asked, the donor landscape of some of those NGOs in terms of they don't have the funding. So cybersecurity, from just the small awareness I had to get to attend those training, it just goes beyond just the antiviruses that you have. Even various attitudes that we all have. Normally, we all use our iPhones. Certain awareness issues of how to even set up a basic password, your normal password, in fact, because it's normally easy for somebody to guess your password if they know, but then they can even train you or methods or tricks and tips that you can use to have those ones. These two-way authentications that they are mentioned, those are not going to come at a cost to you. So basic awareness and so on is what is going to take more for many people to be conscious of the issue of being protected. That's one aspect of it. And once that is been done, then the funding aspect of the mechanisms and the firewalls and then the virus systems could come into play in this regard. So at this moment, as far as we're trying to build more capacity, but we're also trying to enhance more of the awareness level of many people, both general population and of that of the NGO sector that we are working with. So it will come in gradually, but it doesn't happen immediately. But hopefully in the next couple of years down the line, we could be there. Yeah.
Exactly, we could be there in a couple of years. Partnership. Well, let's talk about the partners. I mean, so that this training can happen. Who are your partners?
One of our partners is NetHope. NetHope is a global NGO that does a lot of technology funding.
Okay.
But most importantly too, and I'm glad you went to that, we've engaged the Ministry of Digital Economy before.
Wow.
we've engaged. We actually started with the minister, and he's very excited about the concept, and we're trying to get him to join us as well. So we know we have a commitment from them. But also, like I indicated earlier, we wanted telcos. The landscape operates on what telecommunication does. So we made sure we send letters out to all telcos. We would look forward to partnership from telecommunication companies, government, and regulators as well. Because PIRA was there, PIRA participated fully. Maybe next will be the National Assembly.
Okay.
The Access to Information Commission as well.
Yeah. That's very important.
Yeah. So viewers, this is QTV This Morning. I mean, we've come to the end of this segment. Thank you very much, Mr. Marena and Mr. Bojang, for coming. And I hope we will be seeing more of this training, so to be able to strengthen our cyber security and protect our people. Very important. So thank you very much for coming.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, so viewers, we'll be right back after the break. Then we'll talk to Buba Baji, Communication Officer, NAWEC. We'll be back.
Mitoma. First time cross, really threatening, and it's dropped for Minte. Rifled in!
Did you know you can buy cash power using QMoney wallet absolutely free up to 30,000? Enjoy free QCell airtime every time you cash in to purchase Q Power. For any inquiries, call 133. QMoney, Sunyu Kalbe.
These tracks have become my wall, my arena of victory and fear. I relentlessly walk, push, strain, and stretched. Moments when every fiber of my being screams, give up. But the fire within me won't let me quit. Despite the burning muscles, in this sport, every moment matters. Every second counts. My failures, my dreams, my pain, my triumphs, they propel me forward beyond all limits. I am Gina Mariam Basbite, and this is Sunyubus.
QMoney, your ultimate mobile money partner. Cash in now and get credit bonus up to $250. Yes, $250. Need to cash out? Dial *323#, enter your secret PIN and get your one-time password. Give it to any QMoney agent and you are done. Send money to your loved ones with a few taps. Dial *323#. Welcome back after the break. This is QTV This Morning. I am Ibrahim Balde and I'm with Mam Nabuka.
Yes.
Mam Nabuka nawek mba kurang bi stable na sa side. Mam Nabu. Mba neku di dem ak ñu.
Mom alhamdulillah na honestly speaking. We do have stable electricity.
Man dal xamna ne legi affaire yi ñu ngi stable de Yeah, so we have Buba Baji, Communications NAWEC, on the update on electricity supply. Buba.
Yes.
Naka la fa demee nag.
Good morning. Nu mu fa demee baax na de. Macha Allah waaw.
génn na nu meloon de.
waaw utee naa bu ma fi mujjee woon a ñëw.
waaye lu ma jaaxal.
waaw
affaire si mu ngi stable ñëpp a ngi noppi. waaye su demee rek ñëpp coow.
xam nga bii comme xam nga rek fa naa ne programme bi pôle la rek su neexee rek ñëpp wax waaye su naxaree nag duñ dee wax. dañ ci lañ dee wax waaye nag alhamdulillah you can understand ne li ma dee wax nit ñi courant nekkut. It's a basic necessity. Te du privilege. It's a right. Fundamental right la pour doomi adama ku nekk nga am ko. So moo tax léegi-léegi suñ amutee rek you can understand the frustration especially guddi bi la waaye nawet bi la you know muy taw wala yooyu amuloo courant dafa métti waaye alhamdulillah balaa taw bi di métti at least we are stable for now. Yeah, we still have some pockets of you know small issues léegi-léegi am blackout you know boo yooyu mu duñ dee yàgga ñu dellu si but definitely yes I can happily state here yes we are fine.
Okay.
Yes.
So the load shedding ak yooyu noonu bu ngi mel ni ñu ngi control no moo demee so how did you people manage?
Thank you. Load shedding bi sax du everywhere comme li ma waxoon rek suñu réeréwut mbir ne rek total feeders yu ñu am it's about 29 mooy 29 feeders la but out of these 29 feeders dañu am 4 critical feeders feeder yooyu noonu dañ rëy su ma ne rëy mooy dañ bari client ba nga xam ne ñoom yëpp suñ ko buggee jëlandoor rek dañ fi ñu dee jox jafe-jafe so léegi lu ñu dee def mooy like let's take example like tranquille feeder bi dafa rëy ba nga xam ne yëpp moo amee ñaari brousse bi yëpp am bijilo yi am tranquille bi si boppam ba jaabang di duga noonu ba salaaji so dafa rëy te soo bàyyee sa xel foofu dense population ñoo fa nekk léegi liñ dee def mooy transformer yi nekk si ronam substation si nekk si ron feeder bi like su fekkee comme ñeneent la wala juróom dinañ mën a taalandoor ñaar ñu bàyyi ñaar ba si kanam ñu fay you know taxut ne amuñ capacité waaye munuñ koo jël because transformer bi load bi mu mën a jël like 400 kVA la mu ngi amee load bi it's about 600 doo ko mën a def so li nga mën a def mooy nga taal ñeenay nga indi ñeenay waaye the good thing is ñu ngi am liggéey bu ñoo def te léegi ñu pare soo bàyyee sa xel sooy romba di nga gis ñu ngi sampa loo xam ne su pare boobu moo mun a incorporate yëpp léegi nga xam ne 10 bi dañ koy wàññi ñu mun ko
mooy pôle yu ees yu ma
non pôle yu ees ak néeg bi sax waaw ak substation bu ees bu ñu nekk di sampa waaw because yi dafa fees ba pare bi fa nekka buñ ko sampee fa naa balaa juróomi at rek mbam fees na waaw waaye bu ñu nekk di def ni yaakaar nañ ne dinañ sori balaa moo mun a fees
dafa mun a jël capacité bu bëri rek
waaw incha allahu rabi yes boobu su pare so loolu yooyu ñu ngi fa am na benn fiida bi tam bu am bu ñoo ooyee airport fiida boobu tam dañ ko dee load seet ñaari airport fiida soo ne airport du airport bi si boppam waaye fiida bi noonu lañ ko tuddee woon waaw boobu moo amee wéli ngara bi non moo daan dem bi airport waaye léegi dañ am bu ees bu dem direct airport rek so bii moo jógee wéli ngara di ñëw ba Abuko ba boori abattoir bi boori Ministry of Women Environment no gender and whatever yeah boor boobu noonu yëpp dañ ko dee load seet sometimes yeah
about the national demand that we have for electricity, especially because yokk electricity access across the country. Sure. Like what effect does it have on the load shedding and the power cuts that we experience?
Absolutely nothing, because just an expansion so say the expansion more is in the rural operations. So many rural operations more Kauji.
Wow.
So say the Kauji, for instance, 15 megawatts or maximum. 15 to 20 la ñoo jël concentration bi mooy GBA bi te fii expansion bi fi nekk réyut sax because fii already daanaka pare nañ des na waaye lu fa nes barewul so bokkuñ waaye yes ci sa laajte bi mooy am nañ ay jéego yu ñu nekk di teg pour gis ne yokku buy ñëw dinañ ko mun a jël because comme before soo xoolaan sax dañ daan dem 110 pour nga am Gambia yëpp waaye fan yi maa ngi gis ne ñu ngi jegeñ ba 115 120 kon demande bi mu ngi yokku moo tax demande bi nu moo yokkoo ñun tam noonu la ñu yokka si suñ production bi tam noonu lañ ko nekka di ko yokka waaye nag we have no problem because of access déedéet
so rainy season bi tam xam nañ ne daf te mun a affect sometimes nu supply bi dee debee yan maintenance lañ nekka di def
jërëjëf in fact thank you very much laajte boobu lu am solo la boobu xeli joola nga fi wax taw bi rainy season bi suy ñëw balde daf dee métti torop si nawet bi ñëpp la dee métti waaye surtout ñun waaye nag ñun luñ dee def mooy fagaru mooy balaa woon rain si around April May ba June ñu ngi doon def vegetation mooy trimming mooy ñu ngi doon dog ay garab because yooyu ñoo dee janaa nekk suñ problème beneen problème bi mooy denu bi boobu is out of
waaw
mënuñ koo contrôle ñun suñ machine yi lu ñu dee def mooy bu ko séntoo rek day off.
waaw moo tax light bi day fay.
waaw déggu ne nit moo fa nekk di taal ak a fay.
man loolu laa foogoon.
non déedéet moom daf dee fay because dafa am ay sensor wala am ay jumtuwaay yoo xam ne suñ ko séntoo muy ñëw rek ñoom dañ ko dee faga dañoo fay su rombee mu taal boppam sax soo bàyyee sa xel foos taw bu rëy bu ñëwoon am na benn dënnu bu ñëwoon soo bàyyee sa xel courant fayoon na
mu fay
just a minute mu taalaat boppam so protection yooyu ñoo ko dee waral because dafa fay su ko defee yow du am gàllankoor machine bi tam du am gàllankoor waaye léegi beneen jafe-jafe bu dee am mooy boo xam ne nit ñi dañ ko war a bàyyi xel mooy suy taw nii fili courant mun naa dog because lu ko mun a dog mooy banta mun naa daanu si kawam lu nekk mun naa xew pôle sax mun naa maaba waaw waaye su maabee ba daanu fekk courant mu fa already ndox bi sax am na courant te loolu am solo la pour nit ñi di ko bàyyi xel because commencé na sa di ay jafe-jafe di ñëw wala gis naa benn faaraato fii soriwul rek ay pôle boo xam ne dafa dem bugg a weer lu mu fóot weer ko si kaw fili courant bi because étage la mu ngi jegeñ on known to him on known to her well
maam Nabou gis nga boobu noonu
bii moom maa ngi fi de waaye nag serious note bu mu ko defee foofu mu électrocute so beneen jigéen bi tam gis ko dawaat téye ko moom tam mu téye ko waaw waaye luckily for them you know after ñu daanu waaye deew ñu ros leen to Brikama hospital high tension
oh my god
you know dem di weer yére so loolu dafa garaaw so yooyu laa dee wan nit ñi ñu bàyyi xel buum bi nga taka pour def fi ngay wéer yére ak bu naweek bi bu fa wéer sa yére
waaw bu man sax lu ma gis mooy am na yenn fiil yoo xam ne dañ jege story building loolu xanaa naweek nekku di ko adresse
ñu ngi ko adresse xam nga ñaari yëf moo fi am su nit ñi di sampa gisuma police bi pour ñuy dee ñëw si ñun te ñiy sampa yëpp 99% yëpp dañ dee sampa fekk already cable moom I'll give you an example soriwul London corner fii opposite Nawek Cars office bu fa line boobu rombee man foog naa ne man xaw ma ndax juddoo naa ndax juddoo ma
waaw yàgg
na before këri former IEC chairman bi këram bi kii dafa sampa in fact raakkat bu mu doon raak xanga la doon jël rek di pousse cable pour mun a raax
Allah
ba léegi sax mun ngaa jël sa caméra nga dem foofu noonu nga gis ko
oh my god te
loolu high tension la
oh my god
understand nga am na bu nekk boori bundu ndax no is happening waaye nit ñi soo waaye ñu ne la waa nawet dañu war a ñoo génne kii naka lañ koo génnee because foofu rek lañ ko am te corridor la nga ñëw sampa si corridor bi waaye nga loolu tamit am na yeneen liggéeykaay yu war a gestu loolu waaye ñun lu ñu mën a def rek mooy di waxal nit ñi su ñoo sampa yow daaw basi xew na nit mu ngi raax façon boobu noonu la maçon bi mu raax bu mu balancé rek si kaw high tension bi la mu fuda ko mu gaañu bu serious mu nga na la bentee mun da jëriñ boppam ki la jox liggéey bi jenn banxaas wala nga gis banxaas pour dugga si cable bi nga bugga koo dog dañ dee wax nit ñi bu leen ko dee dog bi ko ñun soo ñëwee si ñun wala nga kool ñu rek dañoo ñëw ñu dogal la ko free balde doo fay dara dama ko dee wax fu ma dem ñun dañ am team boo xam ne loolu seen loolu mooy seen liggéey di wóor di dog
banxaas
léegi sax ñu toog sax duñu am banxaas bu ñoo dog ngir yàlla oo ñu rek waaw soo ooyee rek dañoo ñëw ñu dogal la ko ni nga ko bëggee te du laal suñ cable bi waaye yow soo ko dogalee sax ba pare nga am problème waaw wala leneen xew soo si nawet bi nag problème yi ñu am mooy loolu wala léegi sax ndox dafa nekk xariti courant c'est conducteur pour mu mun a def ko gaaw soo si cable bi daanee rek mun naa indi gàllankoor soo suy taw sax ngay dox si biir ndox bi sax óorut parce que doo mun naa suulu doo ko gis
mun naa am cable mu ngi fa
doo ko gis waaw soo loolu yëpp dañ ko war di bàyyi
possibility pour seen high tension yi dog what is the possibility
the possibility léegi-léegi mun nekk an accident boo xam ne recently am na benn bu amoon boori Brufut Heights okay I don't know the name of the bird but it's a very big bird black one daf dee mun a su spread wings ami mu ñaar laali mu spread ba mu laal ñaari cable rek daf ko aat so spark boobu mun naa dog mun naa dog cable bi daanu wala moto tampon ko garab daanu si kawam lu gën a bari nag garab daanu si kawam wala moto tampon Yeah, more than yeah.
Okay.
So let's talk about power importation, cross-border power transmission, because it's it was one of the key topics of discussion during the power cuts.
Yeah.
How dependent are we, and what are some of the challenges we face? How do you cope them? Can we talk about that?
Thank you. Okay, and that's it. It was the bread and butter of the at one time during the crisis. But yes, we are still buying power from outside.
Okay.
But you see, let me just come back to one thing. That is, you see, the reason we are buying power because we have a pool. We have a pool called the West African Power Pool. That is one. Two, we have what we call the OMVG. These are member states that came in the 70s or 60s to form electricity, agriculture, whatever, a lot of things. But to come to electricity, that is why OMVG was able to bring in a line. You know, those lines run within the member states so that we can trade energy among ourselves. At this point in time, Gambia, we are not in the position of selling electricity. We are at the position of buying.
Okay.
You know, and that's cheaper.
Okay.
But we already have our plans, and they are already on the way. We have both short-term and long-term. If you look at it today, what we have in capacity, the capacity we have, and what we are doing now, the 150 solar park, by the time that is ready, then we don't need it. Gambia don't need all that energy. What is going to happen now is to now do the same thing, sell it through the OMVG. That's why we are able to buy from Guinea, we are able to buy from Senegal, we are able to even buy from Cote d'Ivoire. It depends. We just look at the market and say, we know during the rains, we have more energy from EDG. We can buy from EDG. But that's the roadmap. The roadmap, at least 50% of our consumption, our energy should be internal, which we are not sure, which we are definitely almost there. We're working on that. We went into maintenance, major overhauls, crisis new. Now what do we have? We have a deficit, a serious deficit. So that brought the whole thing. But alhamdulillah, you know, as I said, it was a bitter lesson, but we learned lessons, and then yes, the future is very bright now. Yeah, the future is bright. But yes, we're still trading, and we are trading among ourselves. Yeah, because it's a commodity that is tradable.
Okay.
So what's the biggest challenge you have right now to power stability in the Gambia?
Presently, alhamdulillah, before we do have challenges because during the crisis we were not getting enough energy from the export. But now, alhamdulillah, our challenges are very limited. The challenges we have today is the rainy season.
Okay.
Yeah, because like yesterday, if you check, there was a blackout, but it didn't stay for long. Yeah, because these are things that can happen.
Yeah. So do we still hear complaints about low voltage? I mean, across the country.
No, it's very minimal. As of maybe 6 months back, how low voltage was coming, I'm not getting those reports because normally you check through our 1669 callers calling or through our Facebook. It's very limited now. Now the complaints are not coming much, but also I'm not seeing people thanking us much.
Yeah.
But complaints are not coming much, but I can understand. Yes.
Yeah, I think the last time I complained about low voltage was almost a year or so, more than 2 years now.
Yes.
You know, when NAWEC fixed
your transformer.
sort of a transformer.
No, because your transformer, you see, what happened, very good, you are an example of that.
Yes.
You see, your transformer was a 200 kVA transformer.
Okay.
All right? It went to a point it could not contain all of you. So what is happening now, if all of you take it at peak period, nobody is getting it the way. It was now upgraded to 400. Now you are not talking about it. So that's what we do. When transformers are overloaded, you upgrade them.
Okay.
You know, they will go to an extent that you don't talk about it. Like now you are not talking about it.
Yes, I'm not talking about
it. So anybody who have that low voltage, please report to us, and then a team will also always visit you. And then.
So what is the best way for customers to report faults to NAWEC? The best way?
The best and fastest way is to report through the 1669.
Okay.
You have 1669, and in fact now we also have a WhatsApp.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not advertising for anybody.
Yes.
But we have 3664 169. It's WhatsApp.
Okay.
You can snap, a problem, send it direct to that page.
I will take that number.
3664 169.
3664
169.
3664 169.
Yes,
and
you can.
It's important to take that. Huh?
You can message. Yeah. You can always send in video.
And they will respond.
They will respond instant.
Okay.
You know, our call center is a 24/7 operational, and it's manned by a shift.
Okay.
Yes, anytime, anywhere, people are there. Yeah.
So I have a question about, do you guys have any mechanisms in place where you can anticipate problems before they happen, and then it's more of like a proactive measure than when it happens and then you start to fix it? Do you have anything like that in place?
Yes, we do. Okay, now let's put it this way. Like when it comes to engines today, now that we are stabilized, some of our engines are readily available. In case like there's a disruption within the supply chain, you bring up one engine. Yeah, those mechanisms are there. And then, as I said, every day we try to improve, and then that's why I appreciate when we are criticized genuinely, and people bring things on the table and say, look, now you could have done 1, 2, 3. We listen. Because, I mean, we are also from homes, so we listen and we welcome people to come in and say, hey, because this is a national institution. You know, we did not say that we have done everything equal. We have not fixed everything. Yeah. We are working. But during us working, we can have some challenges, and then or whatever. You bring us ideas, we'll take it. If they are genuine, definitely we'll take it, because it's a national property.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
So, Buba, are we planning to connect more communities to the national grid of electricity?
We are already connecting more into the national grid, and in fact, the remaining communities that don't have electricity, 10%, the contract is already awarded for the 7%, and then already today, as we are talking, if you come to my office, you will find contractors coming in and now trying to do the final touches to finish it. Okay. So at least by December, as we promised, we are still on track. Yes. Yes, we want to make sure that everybody is every community is connected. Okay. Let me not say everybody, but every community. Because like up to now, people, the 500, some are just paying now. They've been given the invoices in January, February to pay the 500 to be connected. They've just come forward to pay now. Yes. You know that's another level. We bring it to your desktop. We give you a meter. All you need to do is pay the 500, and we will.
But you know, there is a problem. I got a compound in Jiboro. Yes. And the other day I went there and I met my whole community with their, yes. Yes. But for me, my home didn't have, because they said I did not build a house in the home. Yes. So I think that's a problem. That's really unfortunate for me, Ma'am Nabu.
No, what happened is, it happens because like you have an empty land, you know, and then when the meter come, it doesn't just stay like that. Economically, no. So we want to, like, you don't want to buy a SIM card, keep it like that.
Yes, you need to put it somewhere.
So that's it. So the problem with those, I know that's Jiboro Kuta, right? Yes. Jiboro Kuta.
Exactly.
Yes, I think it's not only you. I think another one, Modu Sali, also came up to the office and said he's starting construction in December. I said, yes, until you are done, we cannot do anything.
So, Buba, if I build a house there, will I still get the meter?
You'll get the meter.
Oh, okay.
I am not sure if we'll get if the project will be on. Yes. If the project is phased out, meaning you have to go and pay.
I have to go and pay for the 8,000. Now it's going to eat my money then. So no problem.
What can you say, especially if you can do it in Wolof to people who are watching, to assure them
about, quickly,
you know,
power.
Pour mo liren le gene na reassure si power stability bi comme lan ngeen nekk di def daal pour ensure ne power cuts will be reduced, lan ngay mën a wax gaay pour assure leen.
Li ma mën a wax Gambien yi mooy fu mu tollu tey ni may waxee fii mooy power courant bu manqué bi wàññeeku na trop, te ñu ngi dox jéego yoo xam ne léegi tey rek mu daga lu koy daga mooy liggéey yu ñu nekk di def. Te macha allah liggéey yooyu noonu ñu ngi commencé nañ di wane seen boppa mooy ne courant bi taxaw na. te li may gaaral kàddu way mooy suma laas wax bi may wax Gambien yi rek tey mooy si bési tey bi mooy ñun nawek si luñ nekkoon duñ fa delluwaat. waaw loolu moom lu leer la incha allahu rabbi. waaw ñaanuñ yàlla dellu fa rek te fuñ nekk di dem mooy teg nañ ay jéego yoo xam ne dinañ dem te ñaaka courant bi dafa war a nekk tarik comme ni ko amoon na fi. waaw waaye ne am na fi moom bëggatuñ koo gis te ñu ngi see liggéey bu baax te am nañ ndimbal te tey nguur gi nag ñu ngi ñoo jàppale. that one ay duma ko dee na bàyyi si gannaaw. waaw kon ñun luñ laajte mooy jox nañ ñu ko kon lan moo ñu war mooy liggéey te ñu ngi si kaw loolu.
waaw so comme fu ñoo jeexalee mooy Buba wax nga ne amin duñ fa delluwaat
inshallah
waaye xam nga lu xewoon diggante
Iran
waaw lu xewoon noonu ba pare ngeen ne bagage bi
foofu la
parts yi war a jógee ak yooyu noonu waaye xam nga loolu noonu mënuñ koo contrôle xanaa da ngeen am reserve da ngeen jënd ngeen denca
ok suñ machine yi yëpp suñ nekkee di daw tey comme nuñ machine yi nuñ leen nekkee di liggéey ñun even problème bu mu xewoon su fekkoon ne taxul fekkul ñoon si maintenance bi di kon du doon métti because ñun su nit ñuy bàyyi xel waxoon nañ balaa moo jot weeri april bi bu moo am juróom-ñetti fan dañ oote di wan nit ñi am na lu nekk di xew su taxawut jafe-jafe mun naa ñëw ci diggante boobu ñun ñu jëndoon nañ jumtuwaay yoo xam ne dinañu mën a yóbbu ba ñetti weer ba ñeneenti weer su fekkee xew bi xam nga nag su xew bi doggutee ba leneen ak leneen xew loolu global problème la loolu kenn mënut si dara loolu ñu amee sax ñun fu ñu koy jënd sax ñoon sax duñ ko mën a am waaye loolu moom comme su fekkee loolu amut te ñu ngee continuer wax dëgg yàlla duñ am problème waaye ñun always rek dañ dee meeg sonné suñ HFO suñ yeneen magasin yi moom am nañ ko am na space yoo xam ne loolu mënuloo koo jënd a teg loolu su amee problème rek nga ko mën a am te dañ am pour defar ko moo tax nag def dee yaaga
dëgg la
ko spare yooyu nañ dañ rëy torop
waaw dañ rëy dëgg la amiin Buba jërëjëf Mam Nabou we've come to the end of the program.
That was a very fruitful discussion.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Absolutely. So viewers will be back here tomorrow again for another edition of your favorite morning program. You can also follow the repeat at 12 midnight. So until then, bye-bye.